Are you thinking about getting your real estate license in Nebraska, but you just don't know where to start? Well, in this video, I'm going to go through a complete step-by-step guide so you know exactly what steps you need to take in order to get your license and start your career. My name is Chris. I've been a fully licensed real estate agent for the past 10 years. I'm also a real estate coach and team leader that's been able to help hundreds of people get their license and get started with their new career. So make sure to download our real estate license starter kit. Everything in this video plus a lot more is inside that guide. So if you click the link down in the description below, you'll be able to download your copy of it completely free. Also, down in the description below, you're going to find a link to my favorite real estate school. And the reason I love this school so much is that they have a pass or don't pay guarantee. And what this means is they really stand behind their work and they truly believe that they can help you pass the real estate exam. So if you want to check out their classes, there is an affiliate link down below where you'll also get different sales and discounts on their classes. So be sure to check that out as well. So step number one is just meeting some of the basic requirements in order to start the process of getting your license in Nebraska. The first one is you must be 19 years old or older, and you must have a high school diploma or a GED. On top of that, you must be a legal US citizen or resident. And you're also gonna have to pass a background check. So if there's something on your record that might be concerning, I highly suggest you reach out to the local real estate commission and see if it's going to be a problem. Step number two is completing your real estate pre-license education requirements. In the state of Nebraska, you're required to complete 66 hours of state-approved pre-license education classes. Now, I know 66 hours can be a lot, and if you have a full-time job or other things going on, it can seem a bit overwhelming. But the good news is you can do these classes in person or you can do them online. It's totally up to you. I actually suggest the online option because it's much more flexible, convenient, and you also get access to instructors and the support that you would need that you'd typically be looking for in an in-person class setting. So if you're busy and you have a lot going on, the online classes can be a great way to get this done much more effectively. Now, the classes are broken into a couple separate parts. So you have two 30-hour sections, and then you have an additional 6-hour section which covers real estate law. During these classes, you're going to learn a lot of really interesting things like real estate law, real estate math, real estate finance, the code of ethics. All this stuff is going to be taught to you during your real estate classes. So make sure you pay attention because this is all stuff you're going to use when you're out in the field practicing real estate. Another important thing is you want to pay attention because the real estate exam can be a bit challenging. So make sure you really focus and make sure you spend the time to really learn the content while you're in these classes. And that takes us to step number three, which is scheduling and passing your real estate exam. In the state of Nebraska, the exams are administered through Pearson VUE. Now you can schedule your exam online or you can give them a call to schedule. Just make sure you give them at least 24 hours notice. When you go to the testing center on test day, you're going to want to bring two major things. One is a basic non-scientific calculator for the math portion of the exam, and then you're going to want to bring two forms of identification. This can be a US passport, a debit card, a credit card, your driver's license. All this stuff will work. Once you're into the testing center, you're probably wondering what's the exam actually like? Well, the good news is it's multiple choice. So you're going to be met with a bunch of multiple choice questions, and that's the good news. The bad news is these questions can be set up in a way that's a little bit tricky. So make sure you read each question multiple times before you finally submit your answer. The people that rush through this exam really struggle, and a lot of times they fail. You have plenty of time to get this done, and most people will finish early even when they take their time. Now, the exam itself is split into two different sections. You have a state section and a national section. Now, if you fail one portion and pass the other, you just have to come back and retake the part that you failed. Now, once you complete the exams, you're going to know if you passed or failed right away. And a passing score is 75% or higher. Now, if you failed the exam, don't beat yourself up too much. A lot of people do fail the exam, and it doesn't mean they're going to be a bad agent. In fact, I know many people that failed the exam multiple times and they went on to be super successful real estate agents. So just because you failed doesn't mean you're going to be bad. It just means you need to study harder and give this another try. Now, if you pass the exam, it's time to celebrate because we're one step closer to getting your license. That takes us to step number four, which is completing your fingerprinting and your background check. You have to submit your fingerprints to the Nebraska State Patrol and complete your criminal background check. The next step is applying for your real estate license. During this step, what we want to do is we want to take everything we've done so far, all the hard work we've done, and package it up with your license application. So we're going to get our completed real estate pre-license education courses, saying that you completed 66 hours of state-approved classes. We're going to also get your passing real estate exam score of 75% or higher. And then we're going to get your completed background check, package it all up, and send it off with your application. And that takes us to step number 6, which is picking your sponsoring broker. Now, this step is fun, but it's also very important because if you pick the wrong sponsoring broker, it can really set you up for failure. I know so many people that picked the wrong brokerage and they just ended up fizzling out of the business. So I want to give you some very important questions to ask when interviewing with sponsoring brokers. The very first one is, what kind of mentorship and training do you provide specifically for new agents? Are you going to have access to a mentor one-on-one when you run into problems, or are you just kind of on your own to figure it out? And if you are going to have a mentor, who is that mentor and how available are they? You want to ask these questions. Another important question to ask is, do they offer any classes specific to new agents? There are so many real estate classes that brokerages offer, but they might not be specific to new agents that are trying to get their business off the ground. They simply might be too far advanced, and a lot of top producers might be in those classes, and you might not even be able to get a lot of takeaways from that because you haven't even set your business up yet. So make sure they have classes specifically for you as a new agent. The next question to ask is, how are you going to help me market my business? One of the most challenging things agents face is they can't figure out how to get clients. They don't know how to market their business. And this is why many new agents fail out of the business. So you want to make sure you ask this question ahead of time. And if you need additional things like real estate leads, make sure to ask that question. Sometimes brokerages will have teams within their offices that you can apply to that supply things like real estate leads if that's a route you want to go down to get your business off the ground quicker. And the last question to ask is about the monthly fees and the commission splits. So the monthly fees are really what you're going to be charged on a monthly basis to be a part of that brokerage. Some brokerages have $0 a month. Others are a couple $100 per month. And if you're a brand new agent, I highly suggest you stay away from the very expensive brokerages because you may not have cash flow coming in for a little while. And cutting a check every month to a brokerage when you have no inbound money coming in can get expensive really quickly. So I highly suggest you go to a brokerage that has no monthly fee or a small monthly fee. Another important question to ask is about the commission splits. Now, the best way to ask this question is to say, if I sell a $10,000 sale, how much of that money do I get to keep after all the splits, royalties, and fees? That will give you the true number on what your commission split is. But I don't want you to get super hung up on commission splits, because if you go to a brokerage that gives you a ton of support and training and mentorship, but they have a low split, you're going to probably do much better and make much more money than going to a brokerage that gives you no support or low support, or you have high commission splits, because 100% of nothing is still nothing. So get your training, get your mentorship, and invest in your career and your business. It's much better to do it this way. Now that you have all the steps to getting licensed, I want to go through some of the most common questions that I get on a regular basis, because I'm sure you have some questions at this point. The first one is, how much does it actually cost to get your Nebraska real estate license? Well, a lot of this is going to depend on which school you pick, which brokerage you pick, and if you use any exam prep tools. But I would estimate anywhere between $700 and $1,000 to get your real estate license in Nebraska. Now, considering the upside of this career, it's a pretty low barrier to entry and a pretty low cost to get started. The second most common question I get is, how long does it actually take to go through this process and get licensed? Well, in the state of Nebraska, I estimate anywhere between 2 to 4 months to go through the entire process. Now, some people can do it much quicker if you're motivated and you're dedicated and you're really pushing, and other people take much more time. It really depends on what pace you want to work at. The third most common question I get is, the exam actually hard? And the truth is, the exam is hard. A lot of people do fail the exam the first time, but you don't have to, because there are so many exam prep tools out there that can help build the confidence you need to pass the first time around. Back when I was going through this process, I remember sitting and reading through the textbooks and just thinking, there's no way I'm going to be confident enough to pass this exam by just trying to cram all this knowledge in my head with a boring textbook. So I found exam prep tools, and those tools helped me tremendously to build the confidence that I needed on test day. So if you want to check out an exam prep tool, I highly suggest you take a look at Compucram. There's an affiliate link down below in the description as well to Compucram, where you'll be able to check out their exam prep tool and see if it's the right tool for you, and I highly suggest it. And the last most common question I get is, can I start this part-time? And the truth is, you absolutely can. I know so many agents that have started part-time and they eventually go on to become full-time. And I know many agents that just stay part-time. The best thing about real estate is it's entirely up to you. Whether you want to build a business where you help a couple clients per year and make extra income, or if you want to build a hyper successful business, do really well, and earn a super high income. It's entirely up to you. And the amount of work you put into it is typically the amount you'll get back out of it. So that's what I love about real estate, is that it's super flexible and you can kind of build the kind of business that you want to build. If you have other questions, drop them in the comment section down below and I'll do my best to get back to you ASAP. Also, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe because I have more content all about getting licensed and jumpstarting your career coming out soon. Thanks again for tuning in.